Hey all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with tformers.com, your #1 news source for everything Transformers. And today I'm taking a look at the brand new Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy Titan Class Omega Supreme figure from Hasbro. Now this thing comes in a pretty big box here, as you can see, and I just love the artwork. I think they really knock it out of the park with a lot of the artwork for this Siege line, especially with the bigger Transformers. And with Omega here, I think they've done an awesome job. So on the front of the packaging, you've got Omega Supreme. He's on the attack. It looks like he's about to kick some Decepticons' butt. He's on Cybertron. You've got some of the Cybertronian Decepticon jet modes in the back there. So really love this artwork on this. You've got the Siege logo down below. You've got the Generations logo off to the side, and on the right side you've got the name of the character. On the top of the packaging you've got some pretty cool artwork. Some of this artwork you see I think is kind of generic, but you've got all the Autobots there on the top. On this side you've got this kind of poster thing. I know this is on pretty much all the Siege packaging with the Ark taking off and everything. And then on the other side you've just got an image of the Ark itself. I think that's supposed to be the Ark. And then on the back of the packaging you've got a look at the toy in both robot and vehicle mode, and it shows you, tells you about all the features and everything. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging, and you can see when he comes out of the box, he is in his robot mode. He's tied down to this cardboard insert. You've got his track pieces up here. You've got some blast effects over here. You've got the little Micromaster, the countdown, Autobot Countdown is his name, and then the figure is clearly displayed in there. He's all tied down. You also get a little instruction sheet that shows you how to transform him and such. So let's cut him out of there and get a closer look. Okay, so here he is totally out of the package now. So first of all, you get these blast effects, which are done with a semi-translucent type material. It's almost a rubber type plastic, and you get several different portions which actually come apart, so you can actually take them apart into multiple pieces. And it looks like these two are stuck together, but basically, and what you can do is in his robot mode, you can take his gun hand here and open these up, and then you can stick this in there so it looks like he's firing. Or when he's in his rocket mode, which I'll show you, you can use it as, I guess, the blast off effect. And then you also get these two separate pieces as well. So you get, I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual blast pieces that you can put together. Now these are his track pieces, and in his robot mode what you want to do is attach these to his back. So you've got this little tab that sticks out, and what you want to do is, it's hard to see, but underneath here, basically right here, you just want to plug that in. So what you want to do is just kind of, you gotta have to maneuver it because of this back piece. So you kind of lift up the back piece a little bit and slide it in, and then you want to lift it down so you can get the back piece all the way in. And if you get it lined up right, it should pop into place. And we'll do it on this side as well. And then basically that's his, I don't know if they're supposed to be wings or what have you, but that's his back piece that you attach. And when he's in his tank and jet or rocket mode, those act as his actual tracks for the tank to go around. Okay, and then finally you get the little Micromaster Autobot Countdown. And in his vehicle mode, this guy looks kind of like, reminds me of a moon buggy. You've got the little antenna, and it's just done with red and beige plastic. You've got the hard plastic wheels. Actually rolls pretty good. And these guys, they're pretty small, easy to transform in just like 2 steps. It's kind of in scale with the Omega Supreme, so if you want something to ride around the track, and there's actually a compartment for him and stuff, so it's kind of cool. And then like I said, to transform him, you just basically, it's just a couple steps. These remind me, I think they were called Spy Masters back in the day, little white Jeeps that would come with the Transformers. So that's what it kind of reminds me of. And this is done with beige, and you got the metallic silver on the face. Pretty nice detailing with the head sculpt in the face for a little guy like this. And he's got the blue eyes and everything. And he's got a little cannon on his right arm there. Okay, now let's get a close-up of Omega Supreme himself. So first of all, with this head sculpt, I love the way it looks. You can see his face through the helmet. It's very much how he appeared in the original series and comics and everything. And it looks like there's a light tube in there, so his eyes pick up the light. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but definitely you can see it looks like his eyes are glowing. So I love that effect. You've got the translucent plastic shield over the face. Now one thing I want to note, he has this cannon, and this is supposed, in his robot mode, it's supposed to stick out like this. That's how it was in the original toy. You can fold it up if you'd rather, but on mine it is a little bit loose. It tends to just fall down like that. It should really stick up like this. Now you can see there is a screw here, so if I can find a small little tiny screwdriver, I can probably tighten that up, and that'll take care of that problem. But just wanted to note with mine that that cannon is a little bit loose on mine. And then for the midsection, again, very true to how the original toy looked and how he appeared in the cartoons and everything, from what I remember. I had the original Omega Supreme toy. It's one of the Transformers I did have as a kid. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately, but I did have it. It was actually one of my favorite Transformers. You've got the yellow plastic, and it's a very bright yellow plastic here on the chest and on the shoulders. It's actually a little bit darker. It looks like maybe just a hair darker on the shoulders, but for the most part they match up pretty good. Then you've got the translucent plastic here on his front chest, and you can see some detailing, some sculpting detail for his inner parts there. He's got the Autobot symbol here on his chest, and it looks like it's just painted on there. And you know, you've got the red here in the midsection. But again, nice detailing. You've got some metallic silver here on the sides, and then the rest is just this kind of a grayish beige color. He's got the arm cannon for the right hand, and you know, in the original toy, basically you took the two parts and they formed the rocket, which I haven't done the transformation yet, but I assume it's something like that. Now, something different with this that we didn't see on the original toy is these orange pieces are actually done with a translucent plastic, so I like that effect. And then, as I mentioned before, you can plug in those blast effects there in that hole. You do have, like here, you've got like a blast mark here on his arm. So they gave you a little bit of kind of like battle damage or something there. So it does have a little bit of paint applications, not a whole lot. Over here on the side, you've again got it. Now this one, this again, he's got essentially as a gun type arm. So you can also stick those blast effects in here if you wanted to. And this turns, and he's got, again, a blast effect here. And besides having the translucent plastic on this claw, these are also articulated, these little fingers. So you've got an articulated joint so you can bend the upper portion of the fingers. So it gives you a better grip and stuff. And you can also kind of pose it in just kind of different positions and everything. I don't know if it matters much, but you can also rotate this, this piece here that has the finger pieces. So you can rotate it in different positions. And then down here you got the legs. So again, you've got a little bit darker gray here for the bottom portions of the legs from the upper portion. You've got some more metallic silver here on the upper portions of the leg. And then you've got these metal plastic pieces on the front. Again, very clean though. You do have, looks like, you know, they incorporated some blast marks here, and you've got some holes here as well. But it looks like they did, you know, kind of put some marks there, so it's not super clean like it is up on the chest. And then again on the side here, you've got some metallic silver and some blast marks and stuff. And then here's a look at it from the back. Now the only thing I don't remember being on the original toy are these back pieces. So it's kind of like a jetpack is what this reminds me of, but I don't remember the original toy having that. I won't swear 100% since I don't have it in front of me and I'm just going by 20-year ago memory, but I don't remember jetpacks like that on the original toy. And then you've got these yellow pieces on the back of the legs, and then you've got some red detailing on the knee joints there, and then down there towards the bottom of his feet. Okay, now you get a few extra hidden surprises with Omega in his robot mode. So first of all, you can pull these yellow flaps down and you get like little storage compartments in his legs, or a little garage for the MicroMaster guys. So you can just set them in there like that. And you got it on each leg, so you can open these up on each leg. And then also you notice that you've got these holes throughout Omega Supreme. So with these MicroMaster guys, you can like pull this little piece out, and then you can plug these guys in at various spots on the figure. You know, I don't know if you really want to do that. And then up here on the top, you get some extra weaponry here at the chest. So first of all, you've got these little sculpted cannons here. These look like laser cannons, but then you can open these yellow pieces, and underneath there you've got rocket launchers. So with this, you got some mini rockets, and then on this side, you can open it and you get larger rockets for larger ones. Now the rockets aren't removable or anything, they're just sculpted there. But again, it's kind of cool that they added that. And that's not something the original toy had. So Omega here stands in his robot mode. If you count to the top of his head, comes in just under, a little bit under 20 inches tall. And then if you count to the top of his track pieces on his back, he comes in right about 21.5 inches tall. Now here's a comparison with his little buddy Countdown, who's really no bigger than his foot. Here's a comparison of the Siege Hound figure in his Jeep mode. And again, you can see it's really no taller than his foot, maybe a little bit taller, but not much. Here's a comparison with the Siege Megatron and Starscream. Here's a comparison of the Siege Jetfire / Skyfire with the new Omega Supreme. Now, I never got any of the other Titan class Transformers like Fortress Maximus or Metroplex, but here is a comparison of the recent Power of the Primes Predaking, and you can see Omega Supreme is taller. Now for a big dude, articulation isn't too bad, so you can turn the head to the left and to the right, and he can actually look up a little bit there. You can lift the head up, so I like that. You get some up movement there, and I didn't notice this before, but he's got some red here on his chin, so you also have the red up here on the top. So like that. But again, you got some pretty nice head movement with this guy. You can't really look down because his chest sticks out in front of him, but again, he can look up a little bit. And then with the arms, you know, you can rotate. Now the track pieces will get in the way of rotating the arms all the way around, but you know, you do have that movement, and he can get his arm out good there. So he's got good movement there. He's got basically a single hinge type elbow. And then you also get rotation at the elbow. With the hands, you don't really get any movement since his hands are, you know, basically weapons. Other than with like the claw, you do have, as I mentioned before, you have the articulated, essentially the fingers. And then with the midsection, you really don't have any movement. He can kind of bend forward there at the crotch section, but that's pretty much it. And then with the legs, you know, you can do the splits pretty much and get that clicky noise, and then you also get basically like a thigh swivel, and then you have essentially a single hinge knee, so you can bend his knee about that much, and then there's no foot articulation, it's just one big giant foot. And actually on the head, I take that back, you can actually have him look down. I mean, he's looking into his chest basically, but you can actually kind of pivot the head down a little bit there. Okay, now when you transform him, first thing you want to do is first of all take the track pieces back off. You just pull them out and they come right off. Next thing you want to do is take this back piece. It's actually attached up here, and what you want to do is just kind of lift up, take your thumbs and pull up a little bit, and then pull out and just take this piece off. Now this piece is going to become your rocket, and it's a little more complicated than just taking the two hands and sticking them together, but honestly not much. So what you want to do is you can lift this back piece up and just do it forward, and you've got these little flat pieces here on the ends, and you just want to lift those out like that. And then you take the arm pieces and you just do them up straight, and then you just push them in like that, and then you just kind of fold this in and close these pieces up, and there you go. You have your Omega Supreme rocket, and that's your blast effect on the back, and you can play it and play with it and stuff. Next up, you can take your track pieces and you can make your circular track. So what you want to do is you just basically extend these out. They're folded closed, and you extend them out, and then you've got these leg pieces that you just pull down, and should go like that pretty easily. And then you can set that one down and then do the same thing on the other side. Open it up, pull the leg pieces out, and then set them down, and then you just basically put them together so that they form a circular track piece. Now I should note that first of all, it's an elevated track because you've got the legs, so it doesn't sit on the ground like on the original toy. Now this is just the basic track. When we finish transforming the rest of Omega Supreme, we'll put him inside here, and that will actually extend him out a little bit more. but you can see, you know, you can take your little MicroMaster countdown and he fits on there, or you can even take one of your other Autobots and set them on the track there. Now I should note that I technically went out a step from the instructions, putting the rocket together and putting the track together. Those are actually later steps if you're following, you know, the instructions, but I just wanted to go and show you those because those are actually the easier parts of the transformation. But getting back to Omega here, so next thing you want to do is, if you've got the cannon on his head sticking out, you want to go and push that down, and then you can turn this around here. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull down this piece here at his waist section. Then lift these yellow pieces up like this. And what you're going to want to do here then is pull out this portion, which is going to be the tank portion. So just set that aside for a minute. Then you can go on and turn them there at the midsection, turn this upper piece around like that. And there's a little piece underneath here that you can flip down. And then you want to do is take these yellow pieces here and you just want to pull them out. So they should come out like that. And this one being a little more difficult, you might have to use your fingernails to kind of pull it out. But once you do that, and then you can take the legs and you just want to lift them up like this so that they're straight out. And then you just kind of put these pieces down so that they're basically laying against the ground there like that. Then take the feet pieces and turn them forward so that they're facing forward like that. And if this piece is still upward, then you just open it down and pull it down like that. And then you want to go back to the track pieces, and you want, if you've got just the basic track, you want to split them back in half. And then what you're going to do is you're going to connect the track pieces to this, so you know it kind of extends the track out. So you can have just the basic track if you want, like I showed you before, or you can attach it to this center piece, and that will make the track a little bit bigger. Also, it gives you your rocket gantry. And you're going to set the rocket in the middle there in just a minute. And then you want to put the back track on the back side of it, and again then it makes a full circled track for you. And one thing that's nice about this track is, you know, it's not going to fall apart. It actually stays together really good. You can actually pick it up and it's not going to fall apart on you. So they definitely made this so it's pretty sturdy, and like I said, you can move it without it actually falling apart, which is nice. And then finally you want to take the tank portion, the part with the head there, and what you're going to do is start off and you're going to lift this red piece and just open it up like that. You'll then notice here's the tank turret, and what you want to do is just pull that up and flip this around, so now that it's pointing forward like that. Okay, and then at this point basically what you want to do is you want to extend these pieces out so they're straight like this. And what you're going to do is essentially the head's going to go into the back of the turret there. These pieces are going to be, you want them to face forward. This is the track piece, so this you're going to pull down. So yeah, you can kind of, I'm going a little bit out of step from how it does it in the instructions, but basically what you want to do is just kind of have it fold up like this so that the head is in the turret there, the tracks are all one piece, and then you just kind of close the front hood here. Actually probably want to close the hood before you put these arm pieces down, and then you have your scoot that forward, push that in, and you have your tank. And then once you have them in tank mode, you can take the blast effect pieces, the individual long ones, and you can stick them into each of the cannons. So you've got the two cannons on the side, and then you've got the big tank turret. And so you can stick blast effects in all of those so it looks like he's firing. And these will elevate too, so you can have them all elevated if you want, or you can have them all just straight ahead. You know, you've got multiple positions. Now the turret doesn't actually rotate, so doesn't appear to actually rotate. So you really can just fire straight ahead. And if you want a little extra firepower for, you know, shooting behind, you can once again extend that little cannon on the back of his head so that he can fire backwards. You know, it's got, the actual turret itself does rotate. It's on a rotating joint, but when it sticks into the head here, the head doesn't really rotate. rotate, so that basically limits that movement. So again, you really can't rotate the turret itself. But overall, you know, it does roll pretty good. You've got the plastic wheels underneath there. The tracks do not move. They are just, you know, sculpted plastic, but it does actually roll pretty good. And then, like I said, you can elevate the turrets, all three of the turrets, and you do have the cannon in the back for you know, if someone's coming up behind him. So one other feature they've incorporated in Omega's tank mode is he kind of acts as a transport for the minicons, or a minicon. So what you want to do is you lift the turrets up, and then you can take this red piece and open it up, and it should just pop open, and you'll see they've included a spot to put the minicon. So I've got countdown in there. I suppose any of the vehicle minicons would fit in there. There are these little things that stick up, so it'll keep it in place. And so, and then once you open it up, you can basically pretend that he drives out to go into battle. Okay, so once you have all three parts transformed, the track with the gantry, the rocket, and the tank, you can put them all together. So you can just set the rocket in there in between the two shoulder pieces for the rocket gantry. And that rocket is quite tall, so it is much taller. It's a much taller rocket than on the original toy. And then you can take the tank and you can set it on the track, and the wheels, the tank is wider than the track, but the wheels themselves underneath there fit within the track pieces. So, you know, for the most part, you know, it does roll. It comes off a little bit, you know, you have to kind of guide it, but you know, it does actually fit on the track there. It's not motorized. That was one of the cool things about the original toy, is the tank was actually motorized, so it would go around the track without having to push it, if I remember correctly. This one is not, but again, you can actually push it so it goes around. It's not a great fit. The tank, you know, does have a tendency as you're rolling it, pushing it, to come off the track. Now, one thing they list as a feature, you know, I don't know if it's something you really want to bother with, but there are little tabs on the track, throughout the track, and there's also some holes on the gray portions here. So you can take these blast effects and you can plug them in. You can like plug them into these holes, or because they have, the tabs have little holes themselves, you can put them on the little pegs that are sticking out on the track. And I guess the idea is to make it look like somebody's, you know, from the air is firing on the Autobots as they're driving around. So you can pose these in various places. You can also put it up here. There's little tabs up here, so if you want to put the blast effects on the actual gantry. Same thing with the rocket, if you want to stick these blast effects on the rocket, so it looks like, you know, I guess maybe a thruster or something. So you can even put these on, there's little holes on the ends of the claw piece or the thrust piece, so you can actually stick these in there as well. I didn't really notice that before. This would be more for his robot mode with his hand, but you can stick them in, you know, the ends of the fingers basically is how they have it. Now you've got several compartments throughout this, so if you want to put some guys in the rocket itself, you can open up these doors up here at the top. They just pull open. And then once again, you can also open up the compartments here on the side of the track there, and you can put guys in. This is primarily for, you know, again, your MicroMasters, but you can stick those in there. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I think this is a pretty cool toy. Very reminiscent of the original toy, which I loved. You don't get the motorized features, and it could fit a little bit better. The tank in its, you know, tank mode could fit a little bit better on the track. But otherwise, I think it's very solid, and I like the fact that you can actually pick it up even in the tank and gantry mode. You can pick the track up and it's not going to fall apart on you. It's very sturdy. Same with the robot mode. You've got pretty good movement, pretty good range of movement in the robot mode. It's a nice size, and if you're a fan of the original toy, you know, this is basically that, only a little more modernized and definitely bigger. Now, we'll have a full image gallery up at tformers.com and Toy News International. This is available now. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. They started shipping them out, I think, a little bit early. Originally, this was going to be out in October, but Big Bad Toy Store has been shipping these out. As always, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. We have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.